Okay, Shalom Akim, Kahalayim Na Yahawah Shemi Ashaba Shem Kudash, and double honors to the great Muslim apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Yaratazah, they find this video edifying and exhorting, and also thoroughly Yahawah Shah for the strength in order to make this video. And yeah, we'll just get straight to it, man. But as you can see from the thumbnail, it says China artificial wombs. Now, I've been intending to do the video, but right now I got the time to do it, so may as well. But yeah, man, Ma's been at work here. Let me read the title. It says, China unveils first ever pregnancy robot at $1,400. Of course, by the news channel called Weon. So, yeah, you have to I'll just keep this video concise because the point is quite simple, man. As I named this video, I'm going to read out the title. I said, Moab trying to displace Yahawah's order, the Most High's order, which is, of course, man and woman, to come together, be fruitful and multiply. And, of course, that's our seed is then, well, again, as the word goes, multiplied, man. The man and woman comes together, they produce seed, and the offspring comes out of the womb of the woman. And, of course, that's how nations multiply. So anyways, let's play this video and Yaratazah, get some precepts on the point.
Science fiction is now becoming what was once confined to the dark visions of science fiction is now becoming a stark reality. Scientists in China have unveiled a concept that could forever change the meaning of life and parenthood and what it is to be human. A new arms race is underway, not for military might, but for the very process of creation. Here's more.
Imagine a world where the act of pregnancy is no longer a human experience, but a technological one. A world where babies are grown in a sterile, artificial womb inside a machine. Something depicted in sci-fi cult movie The Matrix, it's the audacious new reality being pursued by Chinese scientists. They are developing what they claim is the world's first pregnancy robot, a humanoid surrogate capable of carrying a baby to term and giving birth. This machine, they say, will be equipped with a cutting-edge artificial womb that receives nutrients through a complex network of hoses and tubes. The humanoid, priced at around $1,400, being reportedly developed by Yahawah Technology, a Guangzhou-based tech company. But with every breakthrough comes a burning question. Just because we can, should we?
Yeah, exactly, man. You shouldn't. And that's because of, well, of course, when you're in a wicked world as well, people would be more inclined to that wicked nature, which again, we could simplify it by saying, of course, Esau, Edom, he's against Yahawah Shem Yashai. So, of course, all the other nations are going to walk after, Esau, considering this is his time to rule, which is, of course, coming to an end. And also, one thing that I did realize about this is the fact that a few years ago, women were trying to get prideful. They were trying to get prideful on the fact that, they don't even need a man because, they can get, I'm trying to recall it correctly. They can get, I'll probably have to research the article again or the video. But yeah, there was a woman that said they don't need a man, to have fertilization because it's something to do about the bone marrow, being able to produce seed or something. Of course, again, this was years ago, so that's why it's a bit vague in my mind, but Akim will probably know what I'm talking about. There was that woman online, I think was talking about, yep, she don't need no man because from the bone marrow, you can have some kind of a fertilization from that, whatever substance is within it. But right there, you got the comeback for that, man. Mob's like, okay, we got artificial wombs now. What are you going to do now then? Because the men can say, all right, nah, I don't need a woman. We're going to use the artificial womb. But anyways, these are just, vain, I guess, vain arguments, which it all goes against the Most High's will anyway. So, of course, you got to bear that in mind, man. So really, no one's safe. That's what I was trying to say. But nevertheless, only those who have the names Yahawah, Yahushua, those who believe and of course execute their faith on Yahawah Bashem Yahushua are the ones who are truly saved. Remember, Proverbs 18 and verse 10. The righteous runneth into the... let me get that. Let me get that before I continue with this. This is Proverbs 18 and verse 10. It says, the name of the Lord Yahawah Bahashem Yahushua is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe. So the only ones who are going to be safe are the ones, not just who have the name. Of course, I've been doing the works, that Yahushua has commanded us to do. So of course, is making these videos, studying, to make sure that your video quality is also good as well. What you teach is sound, and really enjoy it to the end, man. Enjoy it to the end, because of course, when the famine of the word hits, which is when there's going to be no more videos, it's going to be okay. You're going to have full faith now, man. Well, I say full faith, but really, you're going to have a faith to the level where, you're not going to be able to see Akim videos anymore or get any exhortation, because it's like, bro's going to be on the run, some bro's going to be in prison. All sorts of positions that bros are going to be in, in terms of situations, considering Esau's chaotic environment. Again, aka Jeremiah 30:7, Jacob's trouble. Yeah, it's going to be a different situation. That's when the faith will be tested even more than it is right now. Because the Most High gives us tests in order to prepare for that, but it will be tested again. Of course, the final test being the MOTB, or the highest test, I should say. But anyways, let's get back to the video.
Artificial womb that receives nutrients through a complex network of hoses and tubes. The humanoid, priced at around $1,400, being reportedly developed by Yahawah Technology, a Guangzhou-based tech company. But with every breakthrough comes a burning question. Just because we can, should we? For centuries, pregnancy has been the most human of experiences. Replacing it with machines sparks fierce ethical debate. What does it mean for the sanctity of motherhood and the human bond between parent and child? There is also the question about who will control these artificial wombs. Will babies become products designed, engineered, manufactured? Critics warn of a slippery slope where life itself is commodified. Will the rich buy robo-surrogates while others grapple with infertility or medical risks? The implications are enormous, and the world is watching closely. Bureau Report, VON World is One.
But yeah, that's the point of the video. Let me get some presets, then wrap up there. But yeah, that's Moab for you. Going against the Most High, that's why he's going to get his form of judgment too. This is Jeremiah 48 and verse 1. Yep, Jeremiah 48 and 1. Against Moab, thus saith the Lord Yahawah of hosts, the Most High of Israel. Woe unto Nebo, for it is spoiled. Kiriathaim is confounded and taken. Misgab is confounded and dismayed. And of course, these are seen as cities. Nebo, Kiriathaim, Misgab, cities of Moab. That's what it pertains to. So verse 2. Jeremiah 48 and 2, there shall be no more praise of Moab in Heshbon. They have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also, thou shalt be cut down, O madman. The sword shall pursue thee. So, of course, Moab ain't going to be in this so-called superpower state, which the nations are saying, they're predicting Moab as the next superpower, but that ain't gonna happen, man. That ain't gonna happen. What they don't see, the hidden truth, is that Jake is the one that's gonna get the comment, but they don't see it because, of course, they see it. They see Jake on the face value. It's like, okay, Jake's on the low. How can these people even get into rulership back? But they're gonna see that turn, man. When I say turn, I'm talking about Revelation, 21 and verse 4. When it says Jerusalem descending down. Or is it verse 2? I believe it's verse 4. Actually, no, hold on. But yeah, that's the point. Yeah, hold on. Actually, it's probably... Yeah, it is verse 2. So yeah, Revelation 21, and getting to the point of verse 2. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High, out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. So, of course, the chariots of salvation, the strangeness of salvation, which is through those chariots. Again, Wisdom of Solomon 5, about verse 1 to 2. When the crowning ceremony is then done, the elect, 144,000, Revelation 14, verse 1 to 2, they'll then descend, which is the governing body of Israel, by the way. They're gonna then descend from those chariots, and then of course it's gonna be a wrap. Well, it's already a wrap, but for those Edomites still lurking in the bunkers, the elites, it's gonna be a wrap for them. But anyways, let's go on Moab. So I was reading about Moab. I wanted to focus on Moab. So yeah, man, they're gonna be cut off. It says Jeremiah 48 and 2, there shall be no more praise of Moab. Which, yeah, they're kind of getting praise right now because of all the technology that they're producing as well. So all of that, people are thinking, damn, China's on it. But, Mossad still uses them as a tool too. So, a tool for his own, for the Mossad's will. Because they're creating all this technology. Technically, you can see China as the basis of the beast system in terms of all the infrastructure too. So it says, there shall be no more praise of Moab in Heshbon. They have devised evil against it. Come and let us cut it off from being a nation. Also thou shalt be cut off, O madmen. Yeah, all their, even in their lifestyle, you can call them madmen as well, all their detestabilities that they have out there, man. The sword shall pursue thee. They eat all sorts of nonsense there, man. All you gotta do is just watch some vlogs from sometimes Jake, who lives in China. There's a guy called Black in China. I believe Apostle Gabal also watches him too. There's a lot of shit that Moabites eat, man. Weird stuff. But of course, it's weird to us who, of course, we got the reasoning, the wisdom of the scriptures, the knowledge of the scriptures, so we know what to eat, what not to eat as well, according to the law. So also thou shalt be cut down, O madman, the sword shall pursue thee. So of course they ain't gonna get that rest. Now skipping on to let's see, verse 16 and 17. Jeremiah 48 and 16, the calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. So he ain't gonna be in this strong position, or so-called seemingly strong position, because of all the technology that he's producing right now and the fast rate of production. He ain't gonna be there, man. Mosai's gonna send that affliction. Remember, they had I believe, I don't know if it was China. I think China had the earthquake last year, 2025. So the Mosai's shaking things up, man, quite literally. So verse 17, all ye that are about him bemoan him, and all ye that know his name say, how is the strong staff broken and the beautiful rod. So yeah, their strength, wherever they can I guess flex on other nations, it's not gonna be it's gonna fall short. So there'll be a shortcoming to that. There'll be a failure. Now let me get this. So all this artificial womb business, man. There's only so far the Most High is going to allow these abominations. Alright, let's read this, because this includes the list of enemies of Israel. Our enemies. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. Of course, Speckled Bird out there as well. Psalms 83 and verse 1. It says, Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. You see, those of whom even the NLT makes it clear as well. And she's talking about, read the men of Yahawah Shem Yashai. We're the hidden ones here. Of course, in the time to come, where we're going to be infamous for defending the names Yahawah, Yahawashi, that's when we're going to be revealed. So yeah, Psalms 83 and 3, because more people will know us on the news. When that time comes, where the persecution increases, rather, that which hence the famine of the word also. brothers' faces are going to be in the news, man. So that's when, again, your faith will be tested. Are you willing to die for this? So that's how it's going to be. Psalms 83:3 in the NLT, they devise crafty schemes against your people. They conspire against your precious ones. So, of course, those of us who serve Yahawah Shem Yahushua. So it says they have said, and also Israelites as well, but really it's focusing on the elects and Yaratazar, that we are those men. Psalms 83:4, they and the KJV now says they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So of course they have evil plans against us, man. Especially those times of CV19. With the juice that they say, okay, you gotta take your first one, take your second one, third dose, fourth, so on and so forth. All of that is cumulative, man. So it builds up, it weakens the immune system. But anyways, let me not get too much. But that's an example of the tool that they created. There's that. There's also the moral, secretive tools. Of course, Akim as well we did a sit down yesterday, Sunday on. We talked on, the sonic weapons, man. So of course, Esau's got a whole load of weapons that he's been blessed with, man. Remember, he's been given the blessing of the sword, man. Genesis 25, and I believe verse. Let me just get that quickly before I continue with this. Could be Genesis 27. All right, I'll get to the point. So Genesis 27:39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, unto Esau, I'll read from verse 38. Genesis 27:30, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So the point is, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live. So of course the Most High has given him the blessing of all sorts of weaponry, specialty in I guess like a gunsmith, a gunsmith in terms of producing weapons, and also mastering the art of using them as well. Typically Edomites are into their guns as well. Also it says, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. So he's the prince of the power of the air, so which means he's got that aircraft technology too. Anyways, I need to get back on Moab, man. Prince, let's see. So Ephesians 2:2, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, according to the ways of Esau, Edom, because remember, he's the one who's got the fatness of the earth, the dew of heaven, as we just read there. So the aircraft technology, you can liken it as the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. The children of disobedience are these Edomites. So that's that. All right, let's get back to Moab. So Psalms 83 and verse 4, it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off. Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. It says, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes. So remember, Moab is the third one on the list, man. So Moab ain't going to escape nothing. We read it in Jeremiah 48, verse 16, verse 17, man. They're going to get their punishment. Let me highlight this as well. They're going to get their punishment. So it says 16, Jeremiah 40 and 16, the calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. See? So really, all this stuff that Mars trying to do, people will be like, "Oh, this is cool. You know, we're advancing as a species." No, you're not. If you're going against the Most High, really, you're devolving, if that's even a way to say it. Not evolving, you're devolving. I'm not really sure if that's even a word, but you brothers should understand what I mean. You're going backwards essentially. So let's see. What was it? Okay, come. This is 1 Corinthians 1:20. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Hath not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? You see, they're trying to use artificial, put nutrients in tubes in order to grow, grow the fertilized eggs artificially instead of it growing in the natural womb, which is how the Most High ordained it, where it's got its best conditions. Mars trying to stray away from that, man. So that's why it's a foolish thing. That's when you then have all these inconveniences, and then, if they did that as well, it would then lead to deformities too. Even if Moab thinks that, okay, we got everything right, most will still mess up anyways, because you went against his way, which again, heathens being heathens, they're not really given the laws and the statutes. It's upon Israel. That's why the Most High, again, judgment starts at the house of the Most High, not these heathens. All right, let's get this. Isaiah 40 verse 15, then wrap it up from there. Isaiah 14:15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of a balance. Behold, he taketh up the hours as a very little thing, which means they are insignificant. Now let me read the NLT. It says, No, for all the nations of the world are but a drop in the bucket. They are nothing more than dust on the scales. He picks up the whole earth as though it were a grain of sand. So really, it's the worthlessness and insignificance of these heathens. That includes Moab as well. So whatever they try to do, the Most High can easily just clear up, destroy their plans and intentions, man. Throw a spanner in the engine. That's a phrase right there. So yeah, Yaratazar, you found it edifying. Yeah, man. We on Yaratazar linked the video. I pretty much just did the whole video, watched the whole video there anyway. So anyway, Shalom, Yahawah Shim Shai Brakatha. Yaratazar, you found it edifying and exhorting.